Kansas basketball had a strong start to the season and then dropped 3 straight Big 12 matchups against Kansas State, TCU, and Baylor. I'm here with Brady Bourjaily and Matt Minear to discuss the outlook on KU hoops right now and how well they could bounce back for the rest of Big 12 play. Matt, what have been some issues with Kansas basketball this year?
Well, just like Max said, they're coming off a 3-game losing streak with a huge win over Kentucky on the road, too, on Saturday night. And we look at those 3 losses. Against all of them were against the ranked teams, 2 of them on the road, coming to K-State and Baylor, and then that blowout in TCU. That was a bad game. But the other games they've lost, I feel like they've been competitive. I feel like every year they have this moment. They have a few game stretch where everybody panics. They lose a few games. Everybody's like, "Oh, Bill Self, well, he can't do this." It's the annual "the sky is falling" moment for KU. But they have a huge bounce back against Kentucky, which I think is going to be really good, especially with their game against K-State Tuesday. I think it's a huge, huge win against Kentucky.
I completely agree. I don't think there's anything at all to worry about with this team. Same thing happened last year. Last year we dropped a game to Dayton in the Atlantic City tournament, which we lost by 1 on a buzzer beater. And at first I was like, oh, terrible season. Here we go again. Last year we came out, I think, with 6 losses total. We lost to unranked TCU. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Every team's going to have a slump, and especially with this college basketball season, besides maybe Purdue, I don't see a dominant team like there was last year. There's a lot of in and out of the rankings. UConn was ranked around like 4.
They were like top 5, and they lost like 4 in a row.
Yeah, there's no consistently dominant teams this year. What makes it such an open playing field.
Yeah, and even Alabama, they played Oklahoma over the weekend. They were down by 30 at one point. Number 2 ranked Alabama, which is
I think
crazy.
it also shows how impossible the Big 12 is.
I
think 9 out of the 10 remaining toughest schedules in the country are all the Big 12 teams.
Yeah.
There's 3 ranked teams in the top 10, us, Texas, and Kansas State, and then there's 6 in the top 15. So there's really no area, there's no easy games.
Yeah, and even you look at the teams like at the bottom of the Big 12 too, Texas Tech, they played us really close. I believe we won by 3 against them earlier in the season. So it's like the Big 12 is insane this year. And there's no cakewalk at all.
We saw, I think, in my opinion, the second best conference in basketball is the SEC, and we saw it this weekend. I think we won 7-3 in the Big 12 SEC Challenge, and number 2 ranked Alabama lost by 30 to an unranked Oklahoma. It's just every single game we have is not going to be easy. We're going to have a bunch of close games, and we're going to take losses, but I'd rather have the losses than be like Houston and Gonzaga and have
play like average teams in the average conference.
And not be ready for the tournament.
Yeah, that happens in Gonzaga. I feel like every year they don't play in a good conference and they just go out early. Not early in the tournament, but they don't perform as well as these top teams in these top conferences like the Big 12.
Getting put in the situations where you can lose and playing tough teams is a lot better and will prepare us a lot more for the tournament than playing San Francisco and beating them by 45. The Big 12 is tough, and I don't Purdue is very dominant this year in my opinion, but the Big 10 is just horrible this year.
Yeah, I think if we go back to KU, I think if we talk about one negative this year for this team is got to be the bench. I think they're struggling to score. You had 6 points against Kentucky in a win though, off the bench. Only 2 against Baylor. 8 in the loss to TCU, 8, and then in K-State they didn't play as well either. I think we get these guys in foul trouble. Jalen Wilson gets in foul trouble. He plays basically the whole game too. He's our big scorer. So I think that I think they need some guys to come off the bench and show they can score, like MJ Rice or Yesufu. Some of these guys, they just gotta step up. I think, especially if some of these, like I said, it's gonna lay down the stretch. Guys are gonna get tired, foul trouble. Yeah. They need to step up, I think.
The main difference, I think, between this year's team and last year's team is that you're right. We don't have that spark off the bench. We had Remy Martin last year.
And we had Mitch Lightfoot, too.
Mitch Lightfoot. Even Jalen Coleman-Lands could step in and hit a couple of threes. And this team, we're still trying to find that person. I guess Bobby has been there at points where he could come off the bench and be that spark.
Yeah, I think the same with Yesufu, too. I think he's
those
shown
two can come off the bench and be that spark. But I love that Coach Self is starting to play these role players more and more and getting more comfortable in the games, which will help a lot down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think also MJ Rice, like where has he been? He had a few good games early in the season, but just Bill Self isn't playing him as much. Yeah, he's a young guy, he's a freshman, so he'll get more playing time. It's probably as the seasons come along if he stays. But yeah, I think that we just need some better bench scoring, and it's Jalen Wilson and Grady Dick and DeJuan Harris, the big three. They've been playing so well this year for us. I had a debate last semester where I said that Jalen Wilson, I didn't think that he could be like the scorer for us. He could be that guy, number one guy, and he's so proved me wrong. He's been absolutely amazing this year. Same with DeJuan, and then Grady Dick has just been lights out shooting the three, and he's just been all around a great player.
I think the biggest improvement for us was KJ Adams scoring. He's had over 12 games in a row with 10-plus points before that stretch. We weren't expecting that out of him, and his development throughout the season has helped us a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know, playing K-State on Tuesday, top 10 matchup. It'll be very exciting to watch. But we'll be right back, and yeah, send it.